Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna.
Pranam. And so devotees, welcome all for the Nityam Bhagavatam classes, sessions. Today we will hear from Canto 5th, Chapter 5, text number 27, from His Grace Smitha Keshava Prabhu. Over to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So, thank you so much for giving this opportunity for speaking on Srimad Bhagavatam. Although I don't have any qualification to discuss about Srimad Bhagavatam, I'll do it as a service to glorify the Supreme Lord and for my purification. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udhirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Once again, welcome all of you for today's Srimad Bhagavatam discussion. Please share my screen. You able to see my screen, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 5th chapter, text number 27. The chapter title name is Lord Vasudeva's teachings to his sons. So we'll recite the verse. Mano vacho drukkare hitasya sakshat kritam me paribarhanam hi vinapumanye namaha vimohat कृतान्तपाशान्न विमुक्तमीशेत् मनोवचो दृक्करेण हितस्य साक्षात् कृतं मे परिबर्हनं हि विनप्पुमान्येन महाविमोहात् कृतान्तपाशान्न विमुक्तमीशेत् मनोवचो दृक्करेण हितस्य साक्षात् कृतं मे परिबर्हनं हि विनप्पुमान्येन महाविमोहात् Kritantapashanna vimuktameshet. What word meaning? Manah, mind. Vachaha, words. Drik, sight. Karana, of the senses. Hitasya, of all activities for maintenance of body, society, friendship, and so on. Sakshat kritam, directly offered. Me, of me. Paribarhanam, worship. He, because. Vina, without. Human, any person. Ena, which. Maha vimohat, from the great illusion. Kritanta pashat, exactly like the stringent rope of Yamaraj. Na, not. Vimuktam, to become free. Ishet, becomes able. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: the true activity of the sense organs, mind, sight, words, and all the knowledge gathering and working senses is to engage fully in my service. Unless his senses are thus engaged, a living entity cannot think of getting out of the great entanglement of material existence, which is exactly like Emerald's stringent rope. Purport: as stated in the Narada Pancharatra, Sarvopadi Vinirmuktam Tatparatvena Nirmalam Rishikena Hishikesha Sevanam Bhaktir Uchyate. This is the conclusion of Bhakti. All the time, Lord Rishabhadev has been stressing devotional service, and now he is concluding by saying that all the senses should be engaged in the Lord's service. There are 5 senses by which we gather knowledge and 5 senses with which we work. These 10 senses and the mind should be fully engaged in the Lord's service. Without engaging them in this way, we cannot get out of the clutches of Maya. Yeah, we'll do Mangalachan prayers. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamsha Namavam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatharini Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvise Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktaranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Karoti Vachalam Pungulavite Gurum Yatkapadam Hamdi Shri Gurum Dinadarinam Paramanandamadanam Sri Chaitanyeshwaram. Hare Krishna. Welcome to all devotees for today's Srimad Bhagavatam discussion on fifth canto, 5th chapter, 27th verse. So before starting, I would like to take blessings from all the assembled Vaishnavas so that you all can bless me. I would be able to speak whatever I could hear and read. Should be in line in parampara, and do please correct me if I do any mistakes. Hare Krishna. So this chapter is Lord Sudev teachings to his sons. So as after a long time I'm joining this session, so I just want to do brief discussion about this context where you are discussing, so that easy for us to understand. So discussing from like how in the second canto is explained the glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam, told about the 10 topics is what were discussed. So that is like Atra Sargo Visarkascha Sthanam Poshanamuteha Manvantarishanukata Nirodho Mukti Ashrayaha. So there are total 10 topics. The first topic is about Sarga, that's universal creation by the Supreme Lord. That's how Lord like Mahavishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, Suryaksha Vishnu, and then the universe creation happened. And then every Garbhodaksha Vishnu, there again Lord Brahma appears. That is second part from where Brahma starts creating. That is secondary creation done by Lord Brahma, that is Visarga. So we're discussing the second topic. There are other topics also. The second topic is what we are discussing in fifth canto now. That secondary creation by Lord Brahma. So, and also it is compared to Lord's navel. That's fifth canto is compared to Lord's navel. All the parts of Lord Krishna is compared to like first two cantos compared to lotus feet, third and fourth canto compared to Lord's thighs, fifth canto is compared to Lord's navel. So we're discussing the Lord's navel part. So if you can see in the picture also, it's showing about the hellish planets. So which the fifth canto actually at the end we'll discuss about that. And then we are discussing about Rishabhadev, but Rishabhadev, where it comes in the dynasties, from Lord Brahma's son is Swayambhu Manu. Swayambhu Manu, he has three daughters, Devahuti, Akuti, and Prasuti, and two sons, Uttanapad and Privrat. So in the third canto and fourth cantos, we discussed about three daughters and Uttanapad, and Uttanapad's dynasty of Dhruva Maharaj, Prithu Maharaj, Prachin Barshit, and Prachetas. And then when there was no king to rule, then again they approached Privrat Maharaj. So Privrat Maharaj dynasty is continuing now. And Privrat Maharaj's son Agnidra, and then Nabi, and now Nabi's son is Rishabhadev. Rishabhadev's first son is Bharat. So now we're discussing Rishabhadev under the Privrat Maharaj dynasty. And Srimad Bhagavatam, like fifth canto, just mentioned, like these are all the contents, like Privrat Maharaj full description is there in the first description of the first chapter, and then Agnidra's, and then his Privrat Maharaj's first son is Agnidra. Agnidra's first son is Nabi, King Nabi, and Nabi's first son is Rishabhadev. So Rishabhadev's we're discussing like 4 to 6 in the fifth chapter we're discussing here. And then Bharat Maharaj pastime, and then the structure of the universe, and then the hellish planets are discussed in the fifth canto. And just to give brief, maybe 1-2 minutes, touching upon what all things we covered till now. So the contents of this chapter, we know the importance of human form of life. So how Lord Rishabhadev's teachings, we discussed in the chapter how here Rishabhadev is telling about the human form of life is how it is very important. So tapo divyam putra kayana sattvam. So it is meant for austerities to please the Lord. So human life is meant for it. And we discussed further verses about how it can be done, like by serving the great souls. So Mahat Sevam Dwaram, like it opens the Dwaram for Vimukti. So, and then it tells about ending the transmigration cycle. So, if you're understanding human life is very important, and the important thing is to end the transmigration cycle of life of birth and death. It's keep going again and again, taking birth again and again. And then cutting through the knots of illusion to understanding me and mine. So, everything we think it's me and it's mine. We don't think anything else. And we think identifying with the body. That's the greatest illusion. So, to come out of that illusion, Lord is saying you should love and please the Lord, serve the Lord. So Rishabhadev is touching multiple times the devotional service here and there in between this. And the process of attaining liberation. So here also it tells about how we should engage everything, our senses. So we should glorify the Lord, we should hear about the Lord. So, and also again it tells we should not attach this process also. So that's how we should attain the liberation. And the responsibilities of a leader, like if you are a leader, like as a father, as a mother, as a husband, as a spiritual master, like what's the responsibility of leader is to always make the who are there under us, they should get Krishna consciousness. They should understand the importance of life. They should not again take birth. So they should have the goal that we have to go back to spiritual world. And then Lord and his devotees, one family, like how Lord Rishabhadev was explaining here, that he himself, he tells that I am not like all the normal souls taking birth here. It's my own spiritual appeared, and I am Lord. So, and his Lord himself is telling that what they should do. And we all know Lord devotees Bharat Maharaj took as his first son in the same family. So that part we discussed here. How Lord is telling that he himself is Supreme Lord, and he is giving the instructions to his son. And then next verses he glorified about Brahmanas, all the Brahmanas. How important is a Brahmana? Lord is himself saying that Lord eats through the mouth of Brahmanas by feeding the Brahmanas. So Lord feels more satisfied than directly serving him if you serve through the Brahmanas. And he tells the glory of Brahmanas in those verses. And now we are in this discussing about 27th verse, and here 26th verse and 27. Yes, I think last class was 26. And then now we are discussing 27th verse. Respecting all living entities and engage in bhakti. So we should not envy any living entity, because if we want to love the Lord, so all are Lord's part and parcels. So if we envy anyone, we are directly envying the Lord himself. So we should not envy anyone. So we should love everyone. That will please the Lord. And then engaging in bhakti is our today's verse. That is 5.5.27 we are discussing. And last topic is about Lord Rishabhadev's renunciation as Avadut. So we will be discussing now. Today's is 5.5.27. So, and just to understand, Rishabh is all the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He led ideal brahmacharya life and household life. So he has 100 sons, and first son is Bharat Maharaj, and 9 Kshatriya sons, 9 Mahabhagavat sons. They are called as Nava Yogendras, which will come in 11th canto, and again 81 perfectly qualified Brahmanas sons. So I was hearing from Gaurang Darshan Prabhu. I just took the reference. Prabhu just telling that Kalo Shudra Sambhava. So in Kali Yuga, everyone is Shudra. So by the qualities, they'll become Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So I was telling a right example here how Rishabhadev's family, like all the Kshatriya, it's not that everyone becomes Kshatriya. Like you can see how there are, based on the qualities, they become Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Mahabhagavad devotees. So and Rishabhadev led an exemplary character. Like he was very strict in following Kshatriya Dharma, following the Brahmanas. So very nicely taking care of all the citizens. He satisfied Vishnu by performing all the sacrifices. So all the citizens were completely satisfied. So when Rishabhadev and his sons, when Rishabhadev was about to take kind of Vanaprastha and practice more devotional service, so he wants to teach his sons. They all went to a tour for Brahmavarta, and there they heard from Rishabhadev, and Rishabhadev instructed their sons. So that is this chapter we are discussing now. So on today's verse is Mano Vachotru Karena Hitasya. We try to understand this verse. So Mano means mind, Vacho means words, Druk means sight. So Mano Vacho Druk. So Manasa Vacha Karmana Vital, like that. With the mind, words, and seeing, we should Karena Hitasya of the senses. So we should always engage in Lord service. That is Paribarhanam. Paribarhanam means worship. And then Shakshat Kritam, directly worship. With what? Mano, Vacho, and Druk. And Karana. Karana means senses. So we should engage in Lord service. So, and Vina, without that, what will happen? Puman, Yena, Mahavimohat. So if we don't engage in service of the Lord, then we will be engaged in we will be in illusion. That is Mahavimohat, from the great illusion. So that is what it is compared to is Kritanta Pashan. That is like emerald stringent rope. So Kritanta Pashan, like the stringent rope of emerald. Proper translates as it is the stringent rope of emerald. So now Vimuktam Ishet. It's not possible. We will not able to free from this Mahavimohat. It's not possible to do it. Until unless we engage our mind, words, and sight and senses in the sight of the Lord, we cannot able to come out of this Mahavimohat. That is the greatest illusion, which is compared to Emerald Spash. So that's what his explanation is given. So till now, you can see how Lord Rishabhadev is teaching devotional service to his sons here and there, but now he is clearly hitting, saying that until unless we engage all our 5 senses, karmendriyas, 5 jnanendriyas, and including mind in the Lord's service, we cannot come out of this greatest illusion, that is Mahavimohat. So that's what, which is like equivalent to the Hemaraj Spash, Prabhupada translated here. Very difficult to come out. So I'll just stop sharing, and whenever required, I'll share the verse. So yes, yeah, and to understand, like now very clearly, what all things we should learn from this verse is that what are this Prabhupada mentioning in the translation that there are 5 karmendriyas and 5 jnanendriyas. So what are those 5? So 5 senses for acquiring jnanendriyas, that is acquiring knowledge. There are eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. And what are those karmendriyas? Hands, legs, anus, genitals, and voice. So these are the 5 karmendriyas, and mind. These are very important to be engaged in Lord service. So the purport was very short. So where Prabhupada explaining about Rishike and Rishikesh Bhakti Ruchyate, how we should engage, that is the perfection of Bhakti. I was thinking how I should prepare for the class. Prabhuji gave the verse. Then I was referring Prabhupada lectures. Prabhupada lecture was there on 5th cantos many. So luckily I could get lecture on Prabhupada. Prabhupada so nicely explained this. So I try to repeat what I heard from Prabhupada. So Prabhupada mentioned that the entanglement in material world is mainly because of the senses. So how Prabhupada so nicely explains the science of understanding how this senses, how this gross body and then subtle body So and then soul. So all these things are there, and based on their working and our desires, how we get entangled in this material world. And for that, main thing is our senses. So what we use this karmendriyas, gyanendriyas, these are the many things which will make us entangle in this material world. So I was referring this verse when Prabhupada told that entanglement is because of senses. Then how important is senses in our spiritual life and how it actually makes us entangled. In Srimad Bhagavatam 4th canto, 25th chapter, 12th verse. So King Puranjana's pastime was explained. There, in the verse, Prabhupada says in the purport, how King Puranjana was actually traveling throughout for gratify senses or to enjoy a lot with your senses, and he was completely frustrated, which he could not do it. So although he was doing so many things, but he want to gratify senses to the fullest extent. So he was traveling through but he could not satisfy it. In the purport, Prabhupada writes like how these senses are so important that if you are a bit careless about it, even we lose our life. So he tells the examples of many animals which we can learn that how they lose their life because of their one sense very prominent in them, which they're trying to enjoy. So like one example Prabhupada mentioned in that purport, like how deer. So deer is very fond of hearing very nice voice. So whenever hunter plays nice music, so a nice voice, so it attracts to it, and actually deer goes searching where it is, get entrapped, and it gets killed, it loses its life. And then one more example Prabhupada mentioned is about fish. So fish is very strong in tasting. So tongue is, you want to taste something very nice. All the fish was very happy in this world where there is in the water, but still when the fisherman kept that bite, that worm, so it likes to eat that worm. So when it tries to go, gets hooked up. So and then fish also loses its life. So because of the tongue tasting the things. And then Prabhupada tells about one example of elephant. So that is sense of touch. So elephant was so mad against the female elephant, it wants to enjoy. So hunters generally trap the male elephant by showing the female elephant, and then slowly traps them by having a ditch, and then they trap that male elephant. So because of that sense of touch enjoyment. So there is one more example is about moth. So moth likes seeing something very flashing or lightning and very brightening. So when moth tries to see the fire, it looks so nice, so bright. It tries to enter into it and it loses its life. So all these four examples like deer, fish, elephant, and moth, all these five animals, there in their body, one sense is very prominent that they want to enjoy those senses. So, and because of those enjoying the senses, they are losing their life when they're going to the extent of enjoying it. So very clearly mentioned that how in each and every species of life, the living entity gets a body to satisfy various senses, but he cannot enjoy all senses at one time. He cannot do it. But in the human form of life, we get an opportunity to enjoy all senses pervertedly. That is dangerous. So if you see one sense, they are very prominent. They are losing their life if they are to the extent of it. So and so dangerous it is. The human form of life, all the senses are dangerous. All senses we can enjoy. We thought we'll try to enjoy to the extent. The result is we become so harassed. Prabhupada mentioned that in attempt to the sense gratification, we ultimately become morose. So, and it tries to satisfy senses more and more, it becomes more and more entangled in the senses. Because the ultimate goal of all these senses is to engage in Lord's service. So, if you don't, then we become, because of these senses engaging in different varieties, we'll take that type of form. So, as we have seen, what is our senses? Where senses are desiring those things. Okay, Lord will give you this type of the body. So, the Lord is under the Daiva Netrena. Whatever activities we do, okay, according to your desire, okay, let's take this body and enjoy our senses in this. So Lord gives that. So we tries to enjoy more and more senses. So we'll become morose until we will also not enjoy, and then finally we become morose and become entangled in it. So that one important point which was struck when was referring this Srimad Bhagavatam verse of King Puranjana's, where Lord is explaining this point. Prabhupada is explaining this point very nicely, that all these analogies. So and in the class when Prabhupada is giving this lecture, Prabhupada mentioned about when starting the class, he told that how this entanglement is because of senses, and every living entity having different types of bodies, different kinds of layers of ignorance. That's how the body is also given. So everyone have different layers of ignorance. So there are reptiles, there are so many different gradations in human beings, in the different kinds of species, and they have different gradations of ignorance also. So when he was telling that point, we'll suddenly hear about the small child crying. So he's crying so loudly. Prabhupada is saying that at least 3 miles we can hear that much loudly the child is crying. So then he asked, can we cry like that? The child is crying, which we can hear for 4 miles. No, we cannot, because child has a different type of body and we have a different type of body now, which we cannot. So everyone has got a material body and according to the different proportion of ignorance. So we cannot cry that loudly the child is crying. Prabhupada immediately connected to that point, that everybody having different type of body. So because of our different desires and senses, what we have done, and everything is going according to this body, that is called Mahavimohat. Prabhupada refers to the verse saying how we cannot come out of this illusion. That is Mahavimohat, it is called. So among the 84 lakh species of life, Prabhupada mentioning, according to our mano, vacho, and druk, our mind, body, and senses we engage, we get different types of bodies. So Prabhupada mentioned that that's how we get entangled into different type of bodies. We take birth again and again. So not engaging in Lord's service, engaging in sense gratification, we take birth again and again because of our desires. And then Prabhupada further explained that how Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he explained in his nice prayers about Mahaprasada going, we sing, right? In that prayers he explained, the verses he has taken, that Sarira avidyajal jodendriyo tahekal. So it was very deep meaning what Prabhupada was taking to bring out from Bhaktivinoda Thakur's poem. We recite every day. Sarira avidyajal. Prabhupada quoted this, that how the body is made up of ignorance. And jodendriyo kahekal is the network of jod indriyo. Indriya means senses. It's jod, means it's the network of senses, which leads to, if you engage right, it leads to call, death. So body is made of ignorance. So that meaning was so nice that like read out that meaning. So there Prabhupada mentions that how this senses, this material body is network of ignorance, that's avidyajal, and the senses are once, senses are one deadly enemies. So he's mentioning how these senses make us throw into the ocean of GFL Vishay Sagare. These senses make us throw in the ocean of Vishay Sagare, in the ocean of material ocean, which you cannot come out. And then Tara Madhya Jivati Lobamaya Sudharmati. So it explains how this we has been thrown into the ocean of this material sense enjoyment, and which are like these senses, because of the senses we have thrown. And among these senses, he tells that the main prominent sense is tongue. So Tara Madhya Jihvati, and the tongue is most voracious and it is very wicked. So it's difficult to conquer the tongue. So Lobo Taki Cheta Katina Samsare, Krishna Badadoyama. So then explains about tongue is most voracious, but still Krishna is very merciful. Krishna actually helps us to come out of this by giving him prasadam. So he's so merciful that by honoring prasadam, we'll be able to understand the spiritual life and we start our spiritual life. And then by that, we can able to control our tongue. So Krishna explained that, and we can sing the glories of Lord by honoring prasadam. So how Lord is so merciful that he has given us, which is very difficult to overcome the senses. These are like network. So they actually bind us and throw into the ocean of material ocean. So that's what Prabhupada always quotes this verse. Atas Sri Krishna Namadi Nabhavet Graham Indriyaha Sevanmukhe Jihvado Swayameva Spuradhyaha. So the material senses cannot appreciate Krishna's holy name, form, qualities, and pastimes. When a conditioned soul is awakened to Krishna consciousness and renders service by using his tongue to chant the Lord's holy name and taste the remnants of Lord's food, the tongue is purified. And one gradually comes to understand who Krishna really is. So Prabhupada always tells that tongue is the one where we can start. Very easy. That we should start honoring prasadam and then chant the holy names of Lord. With these two things, we can easily understand, gradually comes to understand who Krishna is. And then Prabhupada explained this nice point, and then how to understand this understanding of how this has to be engaged in Lord service by just by chanting and the names. And then further, I was understanding like how we have taken this body. All the scriptures explain that we have some spiritual world and we come to the material world and we have taken this body. now currently. So based on our different desires and different types of our senses engaged, we have taken this body. And we all know that this material state is like suffering state. So the happiness is compared to very little in the material world. And in this suffering state where we are in cause of sick, like analogy given, example is given by Rajesh Prabhu that when a student is suffering from a typhoid fever, he's having very high fever. And in that state of condition, if you offer him a full plate of prasadam to honor this prasadam, he cannot eat and he cannot digest it, and he will not be in the position to digest it also, and he will not have it. So what he will do that point of state, he'll just follow the doctor's prescription. The doctor will tell him, you have to take a medicine with a proper daily dosage at this time. You have to take this medicine and every day you should take it. So then he will tell, you should not eat this, you should not eat this. So you should not eat oily food, you should not eat spicy food. You should take kada, something kind of juices. So vegetable soup, something you have to eat. You should not eat something which we cannot even digest it. So that in the state of where he's suffering, we cannot do it. So then he should follow it to come out of this suffering state and to be happy. So there Rajesh explains very nice thing that how similarly even we also, like in the suffering state of the material world, acharyas, all the Lord himself comes, and through acharyas they'll set us. So Prabhupada very nicely explained that how even for us the same in suffering state, the medicines is very important. The medicine what they given is the holy name, chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So that is very important, that we should chant every day consistently without fail. And what is that prohibition which we should not do it is 4 related principles. So no meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, and no gambling. These are the 4 things which we should follow, 4 related principles. And then we should chant the holy names of Lord. This is a prescription given to us. And in the same thing, connecting to the verse of Bhagavad Gita, where Rajesh Prabhu explains so nicely that when Krishna tells that that mind I cannot control. So we have seen Mano engaging mind. So Arjuna is a great warrior, and he himself is saying in the Bhagavad Gita 6th chapter that Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramate balavadradam. He's saying I'm this mind is so fluctuating and it's not stable. So I can control a wind. Vayoriva sudushkaram, but I am able to control my mind. So then Krishna tells Asamshaya Mahabaho, but you have to do, it's not possible, it's possible, but only 2 things you have to do. That is Abhyasenetu Kaunteya Vairagyena Chagrihyate. So you have to do Abhyasa, that is practice, and then you should actually follow the renunciation. So the 2 things is saying, one is Abhyasa means practice chanting Hare Krishna. Vairagya means detaching ourselves from the bad habits. That is 4 related principles, what we call. So we should not eat meat. So all the 4 related principles we should. So that's how Prabhupada is connected, and we actually Prabhupada set it as a standard to follow it. So that comes the standard, and by following that regularly, we'll actually come to the platform of devotional service and understanding the Lord nicely. So and by doing this, all the senses will slowly become pure, chanting and following quality principles. So example, Prabhupada is mentioning, whenever we understand how senses are becoming pure, when you see some bad things like bad posters or something or bad things, immediately we try to control ourselves. We don't want to see it. So that means we are purifying, and we don't want to see those things again. So when you're hearing bad things, when you're hearing from our ears, we'll try to immediately come out of it, or we don't want to hear about it, because that means earlier we used to enjoy it, we used to relish it, hearing bad things, seeing bad scenes, we used to relish it. Now, when after chanting and following correlated principles and slowly understanding about the Lord, when you do this, when you see those things, immediately we'll completely come out of it. That is how we can see how senses are becoming slowly purified. So that's how important it is that Prabhupada set a standard for all of us to follow. And Prabhupada never compromised on these principles. So whatever Prabhupada told. So many when Prabhupada in the US, many people proposed him that just one thing if you remove, many people will come and join ISKCON. Prabhupada told, nothing doing. I am not coming for making people here. So I want to make everyone come out of this suffering. So Prabhupada is very compassionate. So purpose of Prabhupada going to US is taking this Guru's orders, and he was very compassionate to give this knowledge allowed to all the people. So and then this how by doing this process of Abhyasa and Vairagya, chanting and detaching, one is free from all the material designations. 2 things, and second thing is one's senses are becoming purified simply by employing in Lord's service. So it will become purified. So that's one point. And continuing with the mind, Mano Vacho Druk in the verse. So we just discussed about this Bhagavad Gita verse, how Lord Arjuna was asking and Krishna was helping him, and that we can connect, how we can apply in our life. And then understanding the next point about the mind. And today is Ramanujacharya's disappearance day. I was hearing from Gaurang Darshan Prabhu. I thought I'll share with this point. So, so Ramanujacharya disappearance day today. So our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took two main principles from Sri Sampradaya. One is the concept of unalloyed devotional service, Ananya Bhakti. And second, he took about how serving all the Vaishnavas. So Vaishnava Seva, serving all the Vaishnavas, were two principles which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took and added. So Ramanujacharya's one of the important verse in Bhagavad Gita, we know the essence of Bhagavad Gita verse which Prabhupada always quotes is Man Manabhava Madbhakto Madhyajimam Namaskuru. So in that verse, Prabhupada many times quotes about this verse, importance of always engaging our mind in Lord's service. So Ramanujacharya gave a very nice explanation on the commentary of this Man Mana. So what is this engaging the mind in the about the Lord? What is that? So Prabhupada is explaining that engaging mind in Lord's about the thoughts of Lord means immersing ourselves in the 7 oceans of Lord Krishna. So there are 7 oceans of Lord which we should immerse our mind. So there are total 7. The first ocean is Karunya. So how Lord is so compassionate. So engage our mind and immersing about the thoughts. How Lord is so compassionate. So he's the ocean of compassion. So all these oceans, the first ocean is Karunya ocean, is the ocean of compassion. How is the ocean of compassion? You know how Ajamila in the past time where Ajamila committed so many sins, but Lord is so compassionate. He chanted the name, not the Lord's name, but his son's name. But still, Lord is so compassionate. He chanted my name. So Lord protected Ajamila, sending Vishnu Dutas. And we all know how Lord also shown mercy towards Putana. So Aho Bakiyam, so Stanakavala Kutam. How Putana came to kill the Lord, but Lord shown so much mercy that he took only positive, that she came to feed milk. So Lord gave the position of Datri in the spiritual world. So that is the first ocean, that is immersing the ocean of Karunya, ocean of compassion. The second ocean is Saushalya. That is the ocean of divine qualities or divine features of Lord. There are so much of divine qualities of Lord. So that we can meditate on, immerse our mind on. And the third is Saundarya. The Lord is so beautiful. So beautiful Lord. So nicely decorated with a lot of, especially in Vrindavan, they call Lord is so beautiful. They're decorated with so many flowers. So peacock feather. The Lord is so beautiful. So we can just immerse our mind in thoughts of understanding the beauty of the Lord. Even we see the DD decoration, so beautiful it was. So Radha Vinod the Notable, so beautiful decoration. So we can say so beautifully they decorate that it is. So minute details they have taken care. So we can immerse our mind in the ocean of Saundarya, the beautiness of the Lord. And fourth, the ocean is Madhurya. Lord is so sweet. The relationship with the devotees are very sweet. So that we can immerse, like how there is one song, Adharam Madhuram, where Lord explained how all the parts of Lord is so sweet. So that song is so nice. And the Lord's relationship with all the devotees is very nice and very sweet. So that we can immerse, like how Lord reciprocated with Arjuna, Lord reciprocated with all the other Gopas. So it was so nice. We can immerse our mind in that. And then next we have fifth one. That is Gambhirya. So how Lord is so grave. The Lord is so sweet and Lord is also very grave. How we see the ocean looks very calm. Prabhupada tells this, but to go near to the ocean depth is so grave and we become fearful. So that is the depth. So similarly, Lord is also grave. If you see the Lord, how grave he is, the knowledge given by Lord, Bhagavad Gita is so deep. So, and also Lord gave knowledge to Uddhav Gita. That is so deep and so grave, the knowledge. So Lord is grave. Understand our mind immersing in this, reading the scriptures. So, and then Vatsalya. Next is Vatsalya. So the sixth ocean is Vatsalya. How Lord is so specially affectionate towards his devotees. Yes, Lord is affectionate to everyone. And Lord is also affectionate to everyone, but Lord is very specially affectionate towards his devotees. That is explained. That's why Lord is called as Bhakta Vatsala. So especially towards Pandavas, we have seen Uttara, Draupadi. Lord is very merciful. And the last is Audarya. So how Lord is so benevolent, so kind, so magnanimous. So what is mentioned as magnanimous because Lord, he says that I cannot repay my devotees. So Sudama came to Lord to see the Lord. So how nice Sudama is. Sudama didn't even tell Lord, I need this. No, even Krishna didn't tell, I gave you this. Krishna gave by just taking a little bit of flat rice, but Krishna gave him so much wealth it's equivalent to Indra, and Krishna didn't even tell him, because Krishna felt, I could not repay him what I had. So Krishna was so magnanimous. He just took a little bit of flat rice, but he gave the wealth equivalent to Indra. So that's how. So the 7 oceans are Karunya, ocean of compassion; Saushilya, the ocean of divine qualities; Saundarya, the ocean of beautiful, Lord so beautiful; and Madhurya, the ocean of sweetness; Gambhirya, the ocean of gravity; Vatsalya, the ocean of special affection toward devotees; and Audarya, that is Lord's magnanimous and benevolent nature. So this very nice ocean. When I was hearing it, I thought I'll share. It was very nice when I heard about it, how we can immerse our mind. So then further, I was hearing Prabhuji explaining example of Yashoda, how she immersed this mind throughout the day, like never forget about Krishna only. So all the essence of scriptures is 2 things: always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. So smartavya satam Krishna, smartavya najatu chit. So these 2 are main important things. We should always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. And then everything else will become the servant of this. Follow these 2 things. So Yashoda is example you mentioned, that how she was thinking about Krishna, like how although she's doing activities of churning milk, doing activities, singing about Krishna. So that what Rajashampur was telling in lecture, I was remembering, like Hath mein Kam, Muh mein Naam, and Man mein Ram. So they are working, but they are shining the names of Lord, and they are always thinking about Krishna in their mind. So that's very exalted position. Prabhupada explained now, and then further I understood that how, like, they are pure devotees. They engage their mind continuously on Lord. So although they're doing daily activities, but what about us? Then Prabhupada is explaining that if you can engage like this, very good, but it's very highly elevated state. If you in 12th chapter again, Maneva Madadatsva, Maneva Manadatsva, My Buddhim Niveshaya. So if you are able to engage the mind like this, it's fine. Very nice. So that's topmost. If not, at least engage your intelligence. My Buddhim Niveshaya. So if you engage your intelligence in Lord's service, plan your day, how you can engage in Lord's service, how to do, how you can do service, how we can do sadhana. So you can engage your intelligence. If you are not able to do that, also engage your senses. That's very easy. Go and engage. So do some service, engage your senses in Lord's service. So like that, the gradation is given in the 12th chapter in Bhagavad Gita. The Lord Prabhupada is explaining this topic, how important it is to engage your senses. Mano vachod karena. So then finally, you should not, if not mind, if not intelligence, at least senses should engage in Lord's service. And then, and there was a understanding. Now we understood the importance of this. Further, how Prabhupada was explaining this concept of the science of understanding the senses and mind, and then intelligence. What is the science? Bhagavad Gita explains, Prabhupada it explains, the science is thoroughly mentioned there in Bhagavad Gita very nicely. That Indriyani paranya hur indriyabhya param manaha manasastu parabuddhir yobuddhe paratastu saha. The working senses are superior to dull matter. The mind is higher than the senses. Intelligence is higher than the mind, and even higher than the mind is intelligence. So first dull matter, and then mind, and then intelligence, and then intelligence, final intelligence, Prabhupada tells soul. So then Prabhupada comes to the point of soul. So that soul is very minute particle. Keshagra satabhagasya. It is like 1/10,000th tip of the hair. You just take the one tip, and then 1/10,000th part is the soul. So that's how the soul is very finer than this. So many people, they talk that we cannot see soul. So especially Prabhupada tells about Charvak Muni, tells that yavat jivet sukam jivet. So if you see, there is no soul, there is no reincarnation concept only. If you just burn the body will get burnt, and the ashes will be coming out. Where is the soul? I'm not seeing any soul. I cannot see any soul. So people will talk like that. So they are dehatma buddhi. Just think that body. We are the body. Just enjoy. So eat, drink, and be merry. So what happens? We don't want to care. So that is called Mahavimoha, Prabhupada tells. So Mahavimoha means you just think that this is the body, this is the senses, you just enjoy to the extent how much you can. So that's called Mahavimoha. So that education or knowledge about how these are all working is not mentioned. So how the gross body is made up of earth, water, fire, air, and ether, and Bhumirapo Nala Vayu, and then subtle body is made up of mind, intelligence, and false ego, and then there is soul. So the chariot of the body is explained very nicely, that how the 5 horses are compared to senses, and the ropes are compared to mind, and then the person holding the ropes is intelligence, and the passenger sitting in the chariot is soul. So when the chariot was driven by a driver with the ropes are the mind. If the senses are the horses, all senses go in one direction, then what will happen? The whole chariot will collapse. So the senses are binded by the rope and held by intelligence. So if the intelligence has been nourished properly with spiritual knowledge, then he could able to control the mind, and then mind can be controlled the senses. So then we can easily travel in the chariot of body very nicely. So that analogy was very nice and very easy to understand. So how this knowledge, Prabhupada, this is a science, and this is a knowledge which is not known to anyone. So because people think, general Bhagavad Gita explains that prakriti kriyamanani gune karmani sarvasa ahankara vimudatma kartaham iti manyate. So Prabhupada tells that vimudatma, free soul, is bewildered by the false ego, thinks himself the doer of the activities, and he thinks that these things are carried out by the three modes of material nature. So that's one thing. That's what we become bewildered, that everything is carried. We think we are doing it. Actually, it was being carried out by three modes of material nature. So, but we may think that yes, I am the doer. But how come we are saying that I am not the doer, right? So we are actually the doer. So how can we say that we are not the doer? So that how to understand that is actually every spirit soul, jiva we are also doer, but we are not the only doer. So there are total 3 doers, which I heard from Prabhuji that explaining that how we are the doer and we desire, and those desires will be sanctioned by super soul, the ultimate doer, and then those sanctioning desires will be facilitated by material nature, that is prakriti. So that is the understanding of that verse. So many people think that I am doing, no, why I am not? I am doing everything. I am speaking, I am writing, I am running, I am doing everything. Yes, but based on our desires. So we desire something, then super soul sanctions it, and then material nature facilitates those things. So we are the doer, but we are not the ultimate doer. So we are not the only doer. So that's one thing we have to understand. And we understood that how we get bewildered, vimuda. So because we bewildered, but intelligent person, what Prabhupada tells is he understands this. I'm getting bewildered. So understand, and he tries to come out of this vimoha. That is what intelligence means. So yajna sankirtane ajanti hi sumedasha. So people who are intelligent, they let to understand. Okay, Lord has come in multiple ways. Lord has given many scriptures. Let's try to understand, come out of this. So Prabhupada is referring this Vaishnava song, Parama Karuna, Bahudu Jana. In that Prabhupada mentioning that Vishayacharya Serasa Majiya, Muke Bolo Hari Hari. This is instruction, Prabhupada tells. Vishaya means that the enjoyment of senses. So Vishayacharya Serasa Majiya, Muke Bolo Hari Hari. So just chant the holy names of Lord Hari. So we can easily come out of this sense gratification. So we should not enjoy this sense gratification, and which is like we understood that it leads to the loss of our valuable human form of life. So the human form of life is meant for tapodevyam putra kayena sattvam. So otherwise we will be lost. So muke bolo hari hari. You should chant the names of Lord. So Prabhupada mentioned that how this holy name is very powerful. Harinam is so powerful that by chanting once, it destroys a lot of sins. So the so important thing is chanting the names of Lord. So it stresses on the point, chanting is very important. So we may not come to the chanting level of Suddhanam, but slowly will come there because of our mind and conditional nature. We will chant, but we'll chant with offenses. And we should also practice that, like how we should not chant without offenses. And we come to the platform of Suddhanam. And then further, Prabhupada talks about this explanation about in the verse we described Mahavimohat again. How Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains that Cheto Darpana Marjanam Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam. So Bhava Mahadavagni. So how by cleansing this mirror, we can easily come out of this, the ocean of forest of material existence. So Mahadavagni. So well, that is we can easily come out of it. And then further, like how here we understand there is now we understand that yes, we have to chant the names of Lord. But people who doesn't have faith in devotional service, they may think that there is no birth and death. Again, they tell Prabhupada explaining this point again and again, because the main point is that we think we are this body, that is Mahavimoha, and we want to enjoy our senses. So to the extent, and there is no life after death. So if we tell that there is life after death, and scriptures are talking about it, they may tell it is myth. It's a mythology. So what they're talking is doesn't make any sense. So, but many scriptures, many acharyas, they explain very nicely that how Mrityu Samsara Vartmani, there is the life, there is death after this life, and there is life after death if we keep on going in the circle of birth and death. So the main point here is that how to understand is Pratyaksha Praman, Anuman Praman, Shabda Praman. The main the way of gaining knowledge should be from Shabda Praman, that is from hearing, from the bona fide parampara. So Pratyaksha Praman also sometimes it will cheat. We may see something, but we may not believe it. So we may see water on the road while traveling, but there is no water. It's like reflection of that water. Similarly, there is Anuman Praman. We may guess something may happening. It may be like this, it may be like that. We guess in science also so many things. It may be or it may not be. It may work, it may not work, but it's half knowledge. It's dangerous. So the main important knowledge is Shabda Praman, which is always facts, is there in scriptures. It's never proven wrong. So that is Shabda Praman, hearing from bona fide parampara. So that's how the how Prabhupada connects to that is Shabda Praman is very important. So till now we discussed about chanting. So and then hearing is also very important, that Lord has given us a chance by this ear to hear very attentively. And we properly use this ear to hear about the glories of Lord. So then Prabhupada quoted the verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, second chapter, 17th verse. Shrunatam swagata Krishna punyashravana kirtanam hridayantasto hi avadrani vidnuto hi suhut satam. That how by chanting the names of Lord, so that Lord is seated in everyone's heart and is a benefactor of truthful devotee. So he cleanses the desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, and which are themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. So Shrunatam Swakata Krishna. So by hearing about Lord's pastimes, the cleanse in the heart will get cleansed of the dust. So these two things. So main point is Shravanam and Kirtanam. So that will help us engaging our hearing senses, especially hearing, and our mouth by chanting the names of Lord. So we can easily come out of this entanglement. And yeah, so on one more point, Prabhupada mentioning that how we become so strong about our existence here, that although we are suffering so much, but we will not consider it seriously. Our enjoyment material world is compared to a drop in the ocean. So very drop. So in a desert, if it is fully dry, if you just put one drop of water, it will not get satisfied. It needs an ocean of water. Similarly, material the enjoyment is compared to a drop in a desert. So, but soul wants to enjoy to the extent and tries to enjoy in multiple ways. It can be accomplished because Anandamaya Vyasa, soul's nature is that it can be done by just reaching Krishna. Prabhupada has that concluded by saying that we should actually connect to Krishna, our engaging mind and senses in Lord's service. That is our natural position. So fish natural position is supposed to be in water. This constitutional position of soul is to be supposed to be in Lord's love and service. That's how the soul becomes pleased and gets that full Anandamaya Vyasa, so that we can achieve it. So then Prabhupada referring that how Voktara Megnatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhrudam Sarvabhutanam Gnatvamam Shantim Richati. Shantim Richati. That ultimate peace can be attained by understanding the Lord is supreme and serving the Lord. So that Lord tells, and He is supreme, is a Sukhrut. For a Sukhrut means is so close to everyone, friend of everyone. So that is very nice. So connecting the last ending, that how we should connect to Lord by engaging the senses. And in Bhagavatam, we know the famous verse of Amrish Maharaj, how Amrish Maharaj explained that all the senses has to be engaged in Lord's service, including mind. So Savaya Mana Krishna Padara Vindaryo Vachamsa Vaikunta Gunanu Varnane. So how we should engage our mind in meditating on Lord's lotus feet, hands in cleaning the temple, legs in walking to the temple, nose by smelling the Lord's flowers offered to the Lord, eyes by seeing the beauty of the Lord, ears by hearing about the Lord. So all these things so nicely Amrish Maharaj explained. And we have opportunity, like a lot of service opportunities where we can engage ourselves to the best extent whatever possible. So Lord is so magnanimous. We do a little bit also, Lord takes it. So Lord remembers it. So it's like permanent notes about what we have done. So we should try to do our best, whatever best we can do, and whatever opportunity we get, we should grab it. We should engage in a devotional service. That will make our senses get purified, and we will not get into entangled this Mahavimoha, which is like equivalent to the stringent of Yamaraj. And then finally, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also does the same. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu think what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stressed on this about hearing and chanting, and he himself exemplified in it. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tell Harinama Kevalam, Kalau Nasteva Gatiranita. There is no other way than chanting the holy names of Lord in the Kali Yuga. You should actually chant the holy names of Lord. which will actually help us to cleanse ourselves and become purified. And then finally, one last verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, which I would like to mention, that is Atmendriya Priti Vancha Thare Bali Kam, Krishnendriya Priti Icha Dhare Prema Nam. So desire to gratify one's own senses is Kama. Atma Indriya Priti Vancha Thare Bali Kama. That is lust. Which is what? Lust is Atma Indriya Priti. So when you satisfy your own senses, that is compared to lust. So when Krishnendriya Priti Icha Dhare Prema Nam. When you desire to please the senses of the Lord, that is prema. So we are all, our goal is prema pumartha mahan. That is the topmost. So the topmost goal is to achieve the love of Godhead. So our goal is to please Krishna's senses. So Krishna's senses can be pleased, as we discussed. So I'll just summary what we discussed now. So we just discussed about the context of how Rishabhadev is teaching his sons in the Brahmavarta about the importance of human form of life. Further explained about how we should come out of this entanglement, and how devotional service is very important. We should engage in devotional service through mano, vacho, and druk and karena. So all the mind, words, and our senses should engage in Lord's service. So that leads us to come out of this entanglement, and that is called mahavimoha. So we get entangled by understanding that we are the body, and we think me and mine, and we think that there is no life after death. So and we will get entangled again and again, taking birth because of our senses driving us in different desires. So then we understood that how we should actually engage all our senses, mind, intelligence so nicely. We also saw so many descriptions of Ramanujacharya's how we explained about 7 oceans of mercy, 7 oceans of mercy of Lord Krishna, that how we discussed all the 7. And then we understood how we should engage our basic thing, that is tongue, in chanting and taking prasadam, and ears, the chance given us to hear attentively Shunatam Sakata Krishna, hearing again and again about the Lord. That also will help us to hear, cleanse our heart, and become purified. So by this engagement, we can actually make our senses purified and go back to spiritual world. So, and this can be done very nicely by as we discussed the words of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnendra Priti Icha. So we should actually please Krishna's senses. So by serving under the guidance of spiritual master, hearing from attentively, and then from senior Vaishnavas, and then we can engage in this service of Krishna. Definitely it will be pleased to Lord. So one last thing, just recollecting how Prabhupada also once was about to leave one place after giving the lecture, and one devotee asked Prabhupada, tell me one thing which I should do. So Prabhupada was about to sit in the car. He asked, tell me one thing which I should do, which will become my life successful and I go back to spiritual world. Prabhupada, one thing we should do is desire. So one word Prabhupada mentioned, desire. So the desire is what we have. So our free will, we can desire. So even if you desire, Lord will, suppose will identifies it. If you want to serve somewhere or other, I want to serve like this. I want to serve to my best in what I'm possible. If you pray intensely, then Lord will definitely hear, and He will sanctions, and nature will facilitate all of us. We can engage in Lord's service to please the spiritual master, all the senior Vaishnavas. So I'd like to end here. Please forgive me if I would have spoken something beyond my realization, and any mistakes, please do correct me. Thank you so much. Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam ki jai.
Thank you so much, Smitha, Keshava. Wonderful class, wonderful nectar in the morning, wonderful reminders, and especially you mentioned about the problem and why it happens and the solution as well. So thank you so much for engaging us very nicely today, Prabhuji. I would open up the lines for devotees so that they can, if they have some questions, comments, or inputs, please share. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhu, very nice nectarian class, Prabhu, narration. Prabhu, you told one, Hath mein kam, man mein ram. Can you kindly repeat that, Prabhu?
Which one, Prabhu?
Hath
Hath mein
kam.
kam.
Okay. Hath mein kam, muh mein naam, man mein ram. So Hath mein kam means Yashoda was engaging in services where she was chanting, and when she was singing the songs of Krishna, how Krishna is doing whole day activities. That is muh mein naam, and then man mein ram, thinking about the Lord. So meditating on Lord. So all the things we can also like there's an exalted stage how It's so nice that Yashoda was doing. Parallelly, she is chanting and she was also thinking about the Lord. So that's okay. Haath mein kam, muh mein naam, man mein Ram.
Hari Bol. Thank you, Prabhu. Hari Hari.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Smitha Keshava Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Dhanad Pranam Prabhu.
Dhanadhan Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. As usual, you've done a lot of research and put it forward nicely. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, you have told one sloka Tapo Divyam and other. What is that other one, Prabhu?
Prabhu, that is first verse in the 5th canto, 5th chapter. Tapo Divyam Putra Kayana Sattvam.
Putra Kayana Sattvam.
Yeah, I just share.
Okay, Prabhu.
551.
Hmm.
Nayam Deho Bhajam. This one, Prabhu. Nayam Deho Deha Bhajam Naloke Kastan Kaman Arhate Vidbujam Ye Tapo Divyam Putra Kayana Sattvam. So this is the line we discussed, Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhu. Prabhu, you told 7 versions.
Yeah.
The first one is Karunya version. Second one, what is that, Prabhu?
Yeah, Prabhu. I'll just show that slide. So Karunya, Saushalya, Audarya. Let me. Yeah. Karunya, Saushalya, Saundarya, Madhurya, Gambhirya, Vatsalya, Audarya. These are the 7 projects.
Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
The other day, somebody had shared a video where there were 4 kids they had.
Yes,
So
Prabhuji.
the person, father is trying to bring one kid, the other kid goes off somewhere else. He brings the second or the third kid goes off. So I was just wondering, when you're talking about this class, I mean, when I was hearing this class, it's referring to our senses also. One sense we try to control, the other one goes somewhere else, distracted. How do we ensure that in all these somehow align?
Yeah. So I'll try to answer what I know. Maybe you all devotees can answer. I'll try just to add. As I mentioned, like one in Bhagavata, there is one verse which like even one roaming sense of a sadhu can destroy his full spiritual life. So Vishwamitra Muni heard that ankle bells and tries to see that image that and he destroyed it. So as I said, one senses we try to engage, like eyes I should engage, or my ears may go somewhere else, like that what you're saying, no? Like that, if one sense is engaged, other sense may drag us somewhere else. So what my understanding is that we whatever free time we have, we should engage it very nicely. So our free time is like our mental home. Our mental home has to be situated at Krishna consciousness. So whenever we get free time, we want to engage ourselves or mentally should think that I should do this activity. So if it is practiced, abhyasa, it is practiced that I want to do this activities. Like I want to do hearing, I want to do hearing. So I want to do some service. So if this is practiced in association of devotees, like when I get free time, or how I should plan my things, how I should plan my spiritual life. So if that is practiced and we engage our body, mind and senses, like engage in body, especially about in physical services, deity worship. So if we engage thoroughly in association of devotees, we will get a free time only. Then this mental home is fixed. So like, okay, if we get free time, I should do this. Instead of get a free time, I want to go roam, I want to enjoy something, or I want to do this, I want to do that. So that slowly we should fix that mental home there. Then that will come by, I feel that sincere association of devotees. So that mental home can be fixed, like devotees who are already practicing it, by senior devotees, by seeing them. We can actually learn from them that how they are doing it. So how they plan their day, how they actually plan those such a way that the senses cannot be pulled them in different directions. Like I used to see some movies, so I get attracted to something which I want to do it. So I feel that I like to do it something which is taking away from Krishna consciousness. So if it is pulling in the direction, we can take this concept of understand this mental home, and we have to practice it so that whenever I get this thoughts, maybe I can take the inspiration from others who are already performing it, and then their association I can try to do it. So that mental home can be fixed. So that whenever I get these thoughts or whenever I understand that's happening, we can inspire by seeing them and try to follow it. And we can also pray that intensely that I can help me, Lord, because you are Rishikesha, master of the senses. So you are the ultimate. So you know how my senses are working. So please help me so that I can engage my senses fully in your Lord service, so that I'll please you. So these two things I can think. One is make the mental home free, mental home fixed by having your free time fixed on our devotional practices. Second thing is to pray to Lord. Rishikesha is the master of senses, that please engage me in your service. These things will be, may other devotees can add. I just thought these two things.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wonderful. And that spaces, the gaps has to be filled in. Correct. Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Any other inputs, comments, questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Smitha Keshava Prabhu, so nice, so wonderful. In fact, I had the good fortune of listening to Smitha Keshava Prabhu last evening also in the temple hall, Bhagavad Gita. So two different lectures for two different audiences. But so much of preparation has gone and so much of hard work. So nice, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. God bless you, Prabhupada.
There are no further questions or comments, Prabhuji. You can probably end with Vaishnava pranams.
Yes,
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Gaudiya Vaishnava ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Kantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. I'll end the session for all. Thank you.
Thank you.